I want to do one more quick video. I don't want to have too much on so that it's too loud in here. My truck is kind of loud as it is. I want to say one more thing. This isn't my first law enforcement encounter of the day. As I mentioned in the previous video with the El Dorado County Sheriff, the water is at such a high level of poison at this point that I am experiencing some really dangerous signs that my kidneys may be, and or liver or whatever, may be real close to some kind of failure. The other thing I mentioned in the video is that pretty much everywhere I go, other than like cashews and cereal, I pretty much cannot get any kind of substantial, safe food at this point of any other kind. And when we get to those kind of points, one of the things that they tend to do right around that kind of a point, and we were at that point with the food, that's when the water, 4.5 years ago, that's when they started poisoning every water source that I had any access to, whether it was buying it at a store, in a stream, creek, or a river, or lake, or whatever. That happens when the food is so poisoned that, because they're trying to force that poison into your body, because obviously you have to eat and you have to drink water. When you get to that point, then sometimes what I found is that suddenly I'll see a California Department of Fish and Game. Sure enough, earlier today, and I was just still so stunned with what happened. And at first, like I say, I didn't know what their motive was, why they did what they did. And I was afraid I didn't know what they were going to do. The El Dorado County Sheriff. I had an encounter earlier today. Before I'd gone outside, I was in my trailer and it was raining hard. And I was hoping that I could, between the rain, get out on my run. I should have run anyway, but I did not feel well. And I was hoping there would be enough of a break to go out on my run. Well, I was sitting in the trailer and eating some cashews and some cereal, which is about all that has been trustworthy lately, and so that I'd have something to start my day. And suddenly I felt the trailer shake, and I heard voices. I had before heard what sounded like a vehicle might have come up near the trailer where I'm staying, but it also sounded like it could have been lightning, because it's really, an aluminum trailer. When it rains, you mostly just hear rain is what you hear, especially if it's raining hard, and it was raining hard. Well, the trailer started shaking, and then I heard male voices. And it was later than I would have expected the abusers that try to disrupt my sleep and hang out around my trailer and trucks to try to keep me from sleeping. They'd already done that at 7 in the morning to me. So I went out there to look quietly and carefully, and I see DFG out there, the Department of Fish and Game for California, with what looked like a legitimate DFG truck and 2 DFG guys in there, 2 law enforcement DFG. And I asked him if there was a problem, and I said I don't kill any animals, which is true. And I asked him if there was a problem because they were hanging out by my trailer and they weren't going anywhere. And they said, well, no, we just come out here and we look for hunters and hunting. I said, well, I don't kill any animals. And I asked if there were any other issues. Oh, and the young one, I wish I would have gotten this on video. The young one, as I come out, I naturally put my hands in my pockets. The young one says, I'd like you to keep your hands out of your pockets. I'm like, whoa. These people are so deep into their abuse. Well, I guess they have to sleep with their gun under their pillow, you know. The older one looked disturbed to be doing what he was doing. He didn't look like he really wanted to do it, I have to say. Not that that makes him a good person. And we got done with our encounter, or I asked if there was anything else, and I said, wow, that's a bit much when he said that about keeping my hands on my pockets. I said, I'm not quite sure what all is up, because, you know, to be saying something like that, you'd think there need to be some kind of probable cause, suspicion. He says, well, we find stolen vehicles out here or whatever, you know. I didn't say, I guess I could have, that, well, you know, both vehicles are in my name, you know. I didn't say it. You know, I asked them if there was anything else, and then they did go on their way, but it was, I believe that was because the food is more poison, and the person would logically begin to think, well, if I can't get safe food for me in any store, and I'm eating my nuts right now as I say it, but I mean, you can't just live on cereal and nuts, you know. If you can't get safe food in any store or any restaurant and it's full of that plastic poison, then of course, you know, it would be logical that a person would start thinking about hunting. I find that really hard. Maybe some women can hunt, but I find it really hard to think about it, you know. Fishing, I think, would be easier, but I've shown pretty clearly in all the videos that I don't believe in the past, well, I know, in the past 4.5 years, I haven't been where there's an unpoisoned river or creek such that there could be fish that would live in them, or lake. So fishing is out. I imagine I could buy a fishing license if there was, and that just leaves hunting. And I guess I'd DoorDash and buy a hunting license. You know, it also brings up the idea that, boy, you sure can control people if you just shut off the food at the stores and the restaurants, and people don't have their independence growing their own food on the land, you sure can control people very intensely. Keep them from thriving like it's been done to me. It'll ruin their health. I think those of you living in your cities that go along with this BS need to start thinking that through. Think you're going to wait till what they call the shit hits the fan. Well, it already has. The minute those cameras went up, you should have realized, all over in those cities, you should have realized. Even by that point, it was probably too late, because people are so drugged out with your mood-altering substances that you don't think things through. Anyway, I think that the threat was, don't you dare think that you're going to hunt out here and get food this way. And as I say that right now, I'm trying to put some nuts in me. I'm feeling pretty lightheaded because of lack of food. But that's why the DFG came out. So the one said, don't you dare try to get yourself any other kind of food than what we'll force you to have in the town. And by the way, Lori, don't think you're gonna take and go plug in and get some safe water. You're gonna be stuck with what we have in the stores that you can pay for, or what you can get at the ball field. It's all poison that I just proved to you that it is. I mean, if that is enough proof to show that's bubbles so long after. I'll do the same thing at the gas station in Georgetown so you can see the water at the gas station. It does the same thing. Putting it in that container, it's really easy to see the unnatural bubbling going on. This is evil stuff. I'm surrounded by people who are so evil and narcissistic and abusive. That is just so disgusting. This planet was designed so that everything that was created to be naturally here, human beings, and all the rest of the web of life and nature, all the rest of the sentient earthlings like deer and earthworms and chipmunks, we all feel. And we all protect nature and the web of life as our main will and desire. If you're not doing that, you're endangering this planet.